the former federal prosecutor Shan, CNN's Dana Bash, CNN's Eva McKend, and Politico's Lord Barron-Lopez. Dana, there'll be some people out there saying, you know, let it go. Let it go. It was more than a year ago. Why do you keep talking about this? But if you look at the fabulous new CNN reporting today, and I'm going to add this from the New York Times, Mr. Trump was more directly involved than previously known in exploring proposals to use his national security agencies to seize voting machines as he grasped unsuccessfully for evidence of fraud that would help him reverse his defeat in the 2020 election, according to people familiar with the episodes. It's to use his national security agencies to seize voting machines. It is critical because he is planning a comeback, and this is a president who, by all accounts in this reporting, was more involved than we previously knew in trying to keep power, to try to say democracy doesn't matter, I'm staying.
That's exactly right. This isn't just knowing what happened for history's sake, which is very important, but it's also knowing what happened because he's still very much a player in the Republican Party right now, gearing up for the midterms and potentially for his own future. The fact that the committee is painting such a robust picture based on firsthand accounts, like Ryan was just talking about, and documents they are seizing, is very telling. And I just want to underscore something that you talked about with Ryan about Mark Short. There is nobody who is closer to the former vice president than Mark Short. I know from my reporting at the time and even now today, he was in every meeting, on almost every phone call with Mike Pence relating to everything, but especially this push by the president to overturn the election and use Mike Pence to do that. Now, whether or not Mark Short gave any what may be considered privileged information, executive privilege information about those conversations to the committee is unclear. I know that he is somebody who kind of abides by the notion that conversations with the president when you are working for the president should remain confidential, but there's no question that he had a lot of information to give.
And so, Shan, as a former federal prosecutor, number one, you see the extensive, meticulous work the committee is doing. And we should all be grateful that they are building a historical record. But when you see these new details, you try to press the Justice Department. Will you seize voting machines? No, that didn't work. A proposal, maybe we'll have the Pentagon seize the voting machines. That didn't go anywhere. What about the Department of Homeland Security? Can they go out and seize the voting machines? That is corrupt. Is it criminal?
I think it is criminal. I mean, certainly deserving of a criminal investigation at this point. I mean, you know, intent is always the key here, and that's what this evidence is about, intent. It's hard to record a person's thoughts, but the next best thing is written material. So these drafts really show there was no mistake, and also the circumstances show there's no good faith basis for this at all. I mean, it's really a naked attempt to seize and retain their power.
And so, Laura Barron-Lopez, the details just in the last 24 hours, let alone what we've learned over the past several months, but just in the last 24 hours, Donald Trump at a rally saying, I might pardon, actually I'm inclined to pardon people convicted of the January 6th insurrection. These new details about Donald Trump in the Oval Office trying to concoct any means necessary to hold power. If I can't get a Secretary of State in Georgia to help me cheat, for example, maybe we'll have the Pentagon seize voting machines. And yet, John Thune, a leader, Republican Senate leader, just said, well, the system worked. They shrug it off. Well, the system worked and Trump wasn't able to keep power. Kevin Kramer, another member from North Dakota, telling CNN, if he feels like there were people unjustly detained, wrongfully detained, he has every right in the world to do that, to pardon him if he wants to do that. You guys, we have a president in the White House. He's trying to change the subject to Joe Biden. Why is it that even after learning all of this, that the leader of their party is anti-democratic, that the leader of their party, given power again, would try to do it again? They all just say, ho-hum.
Yeah, John, it shouldn't really be surprising at this point, I guess, but it still is, frankly, stunning. And really, it comes down to a political calculation for Republicans, which is that they think that their best bet to regain power and to hold power is alongside Trump is with Trump. And so that's why you see so many Republicans across the country, be it national ones like you just quoted, but also local state electors who are trying to outcompete each other to be as Trumpy as they can be. And by that I mean that, you know, you see Republican state electeds in Wisconsin encouraging their fellow Republicans to cheat in order to win elections. You're hearing that from the former president himself, who has said in recent rallies in Arizona, as well as before Pennsylvania Republicans, that Republicans should tinker with the elections, that they should, just cheat brazenly. So Trump isn't hiding the ball about what's to come in 2024.
And you make a critical point there, because often, if we can roll back the tape, and there are people out there who have ideas that are out on the fringe, and we ignore them. There are people out there who propose things, and we ignore them because they are out on the fringe. Trump has brought these anti-democratic fringe ideas into the mainstream. To wit, Eva McCann, Mike Detmer is running for the Michigan State Senate. He says if things don't go our way, people listen.
The American people, at some point in time, if we can't change the tide, which I believe we can, need to be prepared for walk away. So you ask, what can we do? Show up armed.
Show up armed. Against, to those who say, why do you people keep looking at this? Why do you keep exploring the historical record? Why do you want to keep holding Trump accountable for all this? The seeds have been planted for a new generation of this, and you see it right there. If the election's not going our way, show up armed.
Yeah, there it is, John. There is an increasing group within the Republican Party that is growing more radical. And the question is, are there going to be Republican members that get back to what the Republican Party is supposed to stand for, right? Lower taxes, I think, is something that they once used to run on, but now it's Trumpism or nothing. I mean, what are they going to be running on in 2022? Are they championing conservative policies? Or is it solely about the politics of personality and this one man? Where are the adults in the room? Who are the Republicans, I think, is what we're all watching now. Are they going to emerge to really stand up against this? Because it is alarming.
They would have to push him to the sidelines, which they refuse to do, to have conversations about the many other important issues that would be great to have a campaign about. But he is back in the public sphere, and I suspect he will try to dominate it. Everybody stand by. Just when we come